Oh, good morning, YouTube. Uh, it's morning here. I'm not one to judge what time or what hours you're keeping, but morning for me, and it's time to get started on a demo job. If you saw the other video about the camper, we're going back. The property owner asked us to come back and get rid of the carport that the camper was under. Uh, give you a little bit of a backstory to go along with this. There's always a backstory. Uh, Windstorm came through a few weeks ago and basically just turned this little community into like a war zone. So me and Roberto Gatto are we're going over to help this guy out and clean up a little bit. Basically taking a grapple bucket. This is just a different way, a different I think them old boys up in New York call this alternative income stream or resource, but we're taking the Bobcat and the grapple bucket and going to go over and basically fold up. It sounds good in my head, and this is the plan, and they don't always work out. But we're basically going to go over and take a grapple bucket, fold up this carport. It's just real thin aluminum, and get it off his property for him. And whatever mess we make, it's weather's been terrible. It's cold this morning. You can tell I'm all bundled up, insulated coveralls, and uh, looking like the little old man at Home Depot because I am him. But we're going to go over and just take a grapple bucket and a tooth bucket just in case we mess up the dirt or anything, the gravels, we can smooth it back out. And just try to take care of the guy. And I'll keep you posted. Got the drone with us today, so it's pretty cool. And I'll try to get some photos and stuff and just give you a walk through of the job and let you see what we're doing. Again, these machines they're not just for grading, if you know what I mean. There's so much you can do with them, so many attachments, and we're going to put it to work today and maybe give you guys some ideas. Stick around. All right, so we're back walking around the job. Behind me, back through here, you can see some trees down and broke and snapped and whatever. And that was all a direct result of the wind. Another big tree back here, it's down, it's got to be worked up. And behind me now is it's the carport, what's left of it. So where I'm standing, there was a brand new nice camper, and it just got demolished. The wind came through that tore those trees down, snapped them in half, flipped the camper over, just destroyed this carport here. And so now what I'm doing is just walking around a job site looking to see where we're going to be working, things, gotchas, things you need to look out for. One of the things I see is partially covered under this crusher run. There's a pipe here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a pipe down here partially buried. We want to stay away from that. And over here, at the front of this gravel pad where the camper was at, there's a little water, like a spigot, a water spigot thing down here. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. So stepping on it, walking on it, tripping over it, that's fine. You don't want to put 4 tons of Bobcat on it for obvious reasons. So we'll be aware of that. When you're like me and this is not second nature to you, right? So there's some guys I watch on YouTube, Digging Life, awesome dude, Western North Carolina, not far from here. And man, he just makes it look like it's the easiest thing in the world, like he was born with a set of controls in his hand, and but he's been doing it for years. So it makes a difference. So every job, look at every job as an opportunity to learn to use your equipment in a new and a different way, to get excited, you know. Man, you get to come outside, you get to play with these big toys, you get to do stuff, and you know, whatever. So that's going to be the job today, is to try to get this mess cleaned up and folded up, and we're going to throw the drone up. It's cloudy, spitting snow, blue cold. Good Lord, it's like 29 degrees. And we'll see if we can't get you guys some good footage, something to just entertain you a little bit, and live in the most beautiful part of the country, East Tennessee, Western North Carolina, Southwest Virginia. Just absolutely gorgeous. Even in the dead of winter, you know, even with everything being muddy and you know, and rainy and snowy and all that mess, still just gorgeous. I mean, look, sorry for that quick trip and turn, but look at those mountains up there. Just absolutely beautiful. If you've ever walked by in Home Depot and you've ever seen these, pick them up. We'll tell you right now, it's about the best dollar you ever spent. Pick you up a couple packs on mornings like this. Stick one down in each pocket, and you'll be glad you did. I don't care if your Bobcat is heated. You get out there messing with those chains and getting it off the trailer, your hands are going to get cold. So hot hands, I recommend them. I have been known to stick them down on my socks and keep my feet warm. Ain't no shame in my game. I don't want to get cold. So anyway, be back in a second. tree right there that for a few minutes was the bane of my existence. This shed was basically, let me flip it around here. This shed was basically wrapped around that tree. Again, that's more storm stuff, but you can see some more trees there behind it. But the shed was actually wrapped around it. So the wind came from that direction, blowing this way, picked this shed up, and whenever it got it up like this, it just flared out, hit the tree behind me there, snapped the tree off. It's rotten, but it snapped the tree off and then just wrapped the shed around it like a piece of paper. So it's crazy. I mean, I hate that the homeowner lost a shed and so many nice trees. We lost probably 20, 25 trees on our property, just a couple miles away. So yeah, I hate that he's lost his building and his camper and whatnot. I can't stress it enough, folks. Insurance. Get you some insurance and take care of your stuff. I mean, it's not what you got, it's what you take care of. I always heard. And if it's worth having, it's worth taking care of. Else, it can end up like this. And some old dude like me out here at the Bobcat just running over your stuff that just a year ago was brand new. Like I said, I hate it for this guy. Haven't met him in person, but we've texted back and forth about the job and whatnot. Seemed like a pretty nice dude. But I hate that he lost his stuff and he lost his camper. But like I said, insurance. So we're going to finish up here. We're going to start, now that we've got it from around the tree and got it pulled out here where I can work on it a little bit at a time. Just going to start stacking this stuff. Get a piece of it. You can see pretty thin material. And won't take much just to stack it up, and then I'll continue to work over it back and forth with Roberto and get it mashed down to a point that I can then just pick it up and put it on the truck. So, the homeowner did want to save a breaker box and an outlet over there, and we were managed to pull that out of the debris. I think you can see it there. There's a little bit of a glare on the camera, but we were able to get that out for him. But man, I tell you, I always underestimate the wind and just nature, just crazy stuff. But yeah, I think we're making some pretty good progress here. Been on the job for, I don't know, about an hour. And yeah. All right, kids. So we'll do an update. The shed demolition's going good. But my pal Roberto decided to pop a hose. So not a big deal. You keep your wrenches handy and a steady supply of shop towels, and you get yourself comfortable with hydraulic hose and swapping out the ends and whatever. I mean, so let me say this. Whenever I first started, I would absolutely panic if I busted a hose, or if a clamp broke, or something along those lines, but here's one thing you got to realize real quick. These machines are doing an amazing amount of work, and they're under tremendous pressure, hydraulic pressure. So stuff is going to pop. It's going to break. Best thing you can do is figure out how to fix it. Hose swap won't take more than 10 minutes. Just inconvenient. It's aggravating. We was in a good rhythm. You can see the old shed down there. I've got it stretched out. We've got one or two more big pieces back there to bring out and fold up. But it's almost ready for the dumpster, and we've done it in about 2 hours or so. So it's not bad. A little longer than what I'd hoped, but it is what it is. The ground is a little bit wet, and you're trying to be careful and take care of things. And the homeowner wanted the fuse box and the big breaker, or excuse me, the big receptacle salvage. We were able to get that and take that off of the building. So, like I said, it is what it is. But we're getting there. We're making some progress. Getting it lined up so that it can go right into the dumpster when the dumpster gets here. So yeah, it's just it's the life of a Bobcat or an equipment operator. So if you get into this, you have to, like I said, have a steady supply of shop rags because hydraulic fluid will get nasty. But learn your machine and be watching. Keep an eye on what's happening, to your machine. Don't just read the gauges, look outside, whenever you're picking up your material or moving stuff around or whatever, look for a drip. That's actually how I saw this. Before I'd even check my gauges, I saw a little stream off to the left-hand side. You lived through that one time, you know what that is. Can't be but one thing. Hydraulic fluid. So, you shut everything down, you take a look, and you're thankful that it's nothing but, a fitting. And I've got extra hoses. I keep extra hoses in my work truck. So it's not a big deal. So it's actually probably taken me as long to talk about it and dread it as it is for me to actually fix it. So I'm going to get this baby swapped out and we'll be back at work. I'll have you guys with me in the cab a little bit. I forgot my mount this morning. So whenever I left the house in a great big rush, forgot my mount, so that's why I'm not doing a lot of filming from inside the cab, and it's kind of noisy. But again, that's part of it. You see the earbuds. I'm just doing that for a microphone thing, but I would recommend when you first start running this equipment. Nothing against Joe Rogan or a podcast or whatever, but until you are super duper comfortable with the equipment and your environment, I would recommend that you don't use earbuds, listen to the radio, pay attention and listen to the sound of the machine, listen to the material that you're picking up, listen for something to break, not necessarily on your machine, but obviously if you're riding along and you hear something clang, 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 and you're in a patch of woods, that's probably bad for your machine. You've got something dragging, or you've snapped something or whatever, and you want to get to that before it gets to you. So I would recommend, until you are very comfortable with your machine, that you would leave out the earbuds, pay attention to your surroundings. Number one, you're responsible for your own safety. I mean, this machine can keep you pretty safe, but you're responsible at the end of the day. You're responsible for your own safety. So watch what you're doing. Listen to what you're doing. I hate to sound like your dad, and tell you to be careful, but somebody's got to. So it might as well be me. Be careful. And like I said earlier, if you take care of your equipment's going to take care of you. And if it's worth having, it's worth taking care of. So let me tell you a little bit about the grapple that I'm using today. This one is from Titan Attachments. Get that down there. Hey, it's a big boy. Does great work. Very pleased with it. Actually got it whenever I got Roberto Gatto. But big, strong grapple. Here's the thing. Something that I wish I had known. Bobcat uses a universal attachment system, the Bobcat system. Shout out to Bobcat for that ingenious piece of technology. But just because an attachment says it's universal and it's made for every skid steer, it may fit on there, but there are certain nuances to your skid steer that maybe won't mate up 100%
with the attachment that you have spent your hard-earned money on and purchased. Look, you're out here sweating. It's hard work. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what you think about the dude sitting in the operator seat. It's hard work mentally. You're getting beat up and beat around. These things are not known. These are not Cadillacs. They're not known for the ride. So you're getting beat up and your body's getting punished a little bit. So you're earning your dollar. Spend your money wisely. My Facebook page, my Facebook feed is full of skid steer attachments. This is the greatest thing, and excavator attachments and whatever. Be careful. Like I said, I love this grapple from Titan. It's a workhorse. It'll do a day's work in 30 minutes, but it's not 100% mate for my T595. So that being said, you have to pay a little bit more attention whenever I'm running it. Whenever I open the grapple bucket up, it has a tendency to, on the back side of the grapple, bump up against my quick connects. Not good. So the Bobcat grapple attachment, shout out to Bobcat, made for a Bobcat skid steer, takes into account where your quick attaches are, your quick disconnects. So their grapple bucket goes around it. So it's a smaller grapple. You're probably going to get a little bit less material. But if I run this grapple the safest way possible, I'm probably getting less material because I'm afraid, I'm a little bit worried about it coming back and bumping up against my quick connect. So just keep that in mind. Let's just pocket that away for your future purchasing choices that you may make. But I'm going to go up here and swap this hose, get back to work, and I've stalled long enough, and I'll see you guys shortly. Thanks. All right, folks. So crisis averted. Excellent news. What we had was the quick connect had just worked its way loose a little bit. The threads were good. Everything was great. Took a wrench, tightened it up. 2-minute fix. Nothing to it. But this is what I'm talking about, being inside Roberto Gatto. A little noisy, a little loud. But he's back in business. So can't say enough good things about Bobcat. I am not sponsored, but if you're listening, my wife would love it if you did, because Bobcat or Shop Rags or any coffee company out there, because I'm telling you, coffee's the fuel for life. The little magic beans that keeps people from murdering each other. Hey, if you're watching this and you like it, I ain't gonna tell you what to do, because I hate it for people to tell me what to do. But if you like it, you find some value in any of these videos, and you want to, so instead of giving you a choice, if you want to, click like, subscribe, and if you want to get notified whenever I put up another video, click the little bell thing. I don't know which corner it's in. Look for it. Google it. I don't know where it's at. But find the little bell, and it'll notify you when I put up another video. But it's time for me to get back to work back here on the shed, and let Bob earn his keep. Remember what I told you about it not being a smooth ride? This is not a Cadillac. Case in point. So me and Bob have a deal. If he doesn't kill me, I'll keep feeding him diesel and hydraulic fluid as needed. So far, that's worked out pretty darn good. Great machine, like I said. I'm not sponsored by Bobcat, but there's a reason. Let me say this. If you're looking for a skid steer and you want to get into this business and you think, oh man, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Let me tell you something. There's a reason people say Bobcat. What kind of Bobcat you got? You may have a Caterpillar Bobcat, Takeuchi, or however you say that word. Can't say it. Don't ask me to spell it. in the business. As far as I'm concerned, like, they're the best. I looked at Kubotas, and of course, Kubota makes a great product, and I could be bought. If I didn't have a Bobcat, I'd probably go with the Kubota. But Bobcats are just the very berries, in my opinion. Great machines. Around here where I live, in the Tri-Cities area, we got great service. East 10 Rentals is our Bobcat folks. They got an office in Johnson City, one in Greenville. But man, they are, look, hey, do what I did. Start off renting one, right? Go rent one and see how you like it. Take an hour, whatever you rent it, take an hour. I don't know what the going rate is nowadays for a rental. That hole's deep. I don't know what the going rate is for a rental, for them to deliver it and the whole deal. But y'all, if you ain't got a stout pickup truck and a heavy duty trailer, pay the money. Let them bring it to you. They'll bring it straight to your job site, drop it off, and then they'll come back and get it. Can't beat a deal like that. So, Bobcat, the Mountain Empire, or East 10 Rentals, whatever. Great people, great to work with. Rented a bunch of equipment from them, and they actually serviced my machine. So, before I bought one, I went and I rented. And I kept telling my wife, I was like, hey, man, this is what I'd love to do. And she was like, yeah, I don't know. Kept on. Listen, if you think you'd like it, go rent a machine. Number one, rent a machine, take an hour, familiarize yourself with the controls in a wide open space. Go somewhere. Your neighbors may think you're crazy. Don't worry about it. You're the one paying the bill. Go somewhere, wide open space, raise the bucket, lower the bucket, tilt the bucket, go back and forth. Learn what to do and when to do it. The rest of the time, keep that bucket down close to the ground, right? Learn to travel around. You're going to tear up some grass. Your wife will not appreciate it. But you're going to tear up a little bit of grass. But then, the second time, in the second hour that you run one of these machines, you're going to be like, hey, this ain't too bad. Now here's where the dangerous part comes in. Let me do this. Here's where the dangerous part comes in. You've got an hour under your belt, right? And you're going to be like, man, ain't nothing to this stuff. I can do this. I can do this all day long. Nothing to it. That's where you get in trouble. The danger zone in operating this equipment is between 2 to 5 hours and 10 hours. Because you're familiar enough with the controls, you're going to move forward, move backwards, side to side. You're going to raise the bucket, lower the bucket, pick up something real heavy, which is cool. Take it, carry it somewhere and drop it. Oh, you think, oh man, look at me. But then you get a little bit complacent. Y'all, these things are not Toyotas. They'll tip over. They'll flip on you in a heartbeat. This machine weighs right at 8,000 pounds. You ain't gonna flip it back. Okay, you don't want 8,000 pounds flipping nowhere. You don't want 8,000 pounds bouncing nowhere. So people have asked me, wheel loader or tracks all the way. The track machine is just going to be your best all around. You'll tear up a little bit more ground, but once you get used to the controls a little bit, you'll even get better at that. But track machines for, out in the dirt, whatever, there's no equal. Second thing is when you go to buy your equipment, go ahead and get the enclosed cab, get the heat and the air conditioning. Here's why. For me, it was a no-brainer. But here's why. Little drizzly days, cool day. Y'all, it was blasted cold this morning. It was, like I said, it was 27, 28 degrees when I got on the job site. It's 31 now, according to my watch. But And no, that's not an Apple Watch. I'm an Android, old school Android, and anything not Apple all the way. Anyhow, um, whenever you buy your equipment, buy it used or whatever, um, get a machine that's an enclosed cab with heat and AC. You'll thank me for it. This morning, blew cold, y'all, super cold. I was comfortable. I was so comfortable, in fact, that I had to actually open a window, let a little air in. I mean, the heaters on these things will just run you out, and the air conditioning in July will freeze your hind end off. Again, Bobcat, Bobcat, Bobcat. Um, but whenever it's raining a little bit, and these other guys don't have enclosed cabs are not working, you are. So when you go bid a job, and there's some weather moving in, and it's a little job that you can knock out pretty quick, kind of like this one. If I'm not piddle dicking around and making videos, but if it's a job like this where you can knock it out pretty quick, it was threatening rain, but I didn't have to worry about runoff and this and that. I knew I could come over here and do this job because I was, no matter what the weather was, I was going to be warm and dry. Don't know about you, but as far as on the list of creature comforts, that's big on my list. So anyway, there you go. That's my 2 cents worth for equipment, attachments, and whether or not you should get an enclosed cab. I'll cover more of this stuff just kind of as it comes to me. I do not have a list. If you look around the cab of this thing, you can see there's not a list. It's just kind of a as it pops in my old gray head. Things I wish somebody would have told me, like things to consider. If you're watching my channel, chances are, one, you're either one of my grandchildren. Shout out to the grandkids, or you're maybe a guy like me that's looking for something to do. Maybe make some secondary income or whatever. Maybe you want to get. Maybe you're a younger dude and you want to get into this, for your business or whatever. I applaud you. It is hard work, but man, it is very rewarding work. A lot of fun work. Get to meet a lot of cool people, and you get to do a lot of stuff that that you only dreamed of as a kid. Because all of us, we played with Tonka trucks, or at least my generation did. You got out in the dirt because Mama put you outside, and as long as it was warm, Mama put you outside and locked the door because she was mopping. I love you, Mama. But Mama put you outside and locked the door, so you was outside with either a BB gun or Tonka trucks, and so you spent the day, living this dream, living, operating equipment, and making the noises and whatever. Now that I've got a machine that keeps me warm, dry, cool in the summer, it makes the noises, and I still get to do it. So it's better than any video game that you're going to play. So I encourage it. People have asked the question before, and that's another thing. So if you have questions, put them down in the comments. I'd love to interact with you as much as possible. If you don't like the way I'm working, that's fine too. You're not paying the bill, so I'm not going to sweat it. But if you have tips, like I said, Digging Life 21, Todd over on that channel, and I think Sam on TriStar Excavating. Those guys and their videos have been invaluable to me. So I'm putting links on all my videos like to them, because these guys, you go watch them, man, and they run skid steers and they run big excavators and stuff, but you get a lot of ideas. And so you scale down their business approach to what you are. You may be one guy with a shovel and an old beat up pickup truck. Man, you're out there getting it. My hat's off to you. You could be a dude with 14 people on a crew, and you've got a bunch of brand new skid steers and new trucks and whatever, and you've got monthly payments from leases and stuff out the wazoo. Again, I salute you. My hat's off to you. You're out there taking care of business, and you're making a way for people to raise their family. So, but this is a lot of fun. This business that you get into, the people you meet, it's a lot of fun, and so I encourage it. Anyway, back at it. I've got some more work to do. As you can see, we're lining everything up on this side. Flat stuff here, long stuff in the middle. Bringing the longer flat stuff, crushing it up, laying it over here in this pile. there's going to be a dumpster, and I'm just going to scoop it up and drop it in the dumpster. The dumpster is not here yet, so it's a bit of a pain, but this job is really close to my house. I mentioned first part of the video that the same storm that tore this guy's camper up and this carport, it cost me a lot of trees and a shed. So, you know, like I said, it is what it is. Insurance. But so this little job is just a few minutes from my house, so I don't mind running back over here when the dumpster gets delivered. It'll be set back up here out of the homeowner's yard, on near the pavement, and I'll just snatch this stuff up. You know, take 30 minutes or so, and drop it in the dumpster and load up and go back home. So no big deal. Which, you know, that makes the most sense instead of, you know, back and forth hauling this off on my trailer. You're going to learn to do things efficiently, and that's the name of the game. That's how you're going to make your money, if you're in it to make money, and that's why you're in business. So anyway, back to work. Thank y'all. Okay, kids. You remember I told you a minute ago that hey, man, we dodged a bullet. It was just loose. Well, see, normally right here, there's a hose like this that comes out and goes down. But if you notice, we're missing that. So, yeah, Roberto Gatto wanted a new hose, so that's what we're going to give him. Give me a minute, be back in business.
All right, kids, friends, neighbors, family, whatever. We made it back. It was a good day, and Roberto, he did a fine job. Even with a busted hose, I ain't mad at him. He ain't mad at me. So I'm going to get unloaded. That whole little adventure that you've been on with me, probably about 4 hours. I'll post a picture on the video. You can see where we're at. Going to have a dumpster come in, and then I'll run back over and I'll load up the dumpster with what was left. Now you may wonder, and for efficiency, it would have been smarter. I'm open to criticism, but it would have been smarter to go ahead and have the dumpster there and then load it. But and this was a great big carport, and until I got it broke down, I didn't really know how big of a dumpster I was going to need, for one. Number two, sometimes, so the homeowner won't be back for a while, a few more weeks, I think. So I've got a little time to play with, and I wanted to see how much material I was going to have for the dumpster, and then that way I don't overspend on the dumpster. So, and it was only 7 miles round trip from where I live to the job site and back. So, short run. So I'll run back over there one day whenever after the dumpster shows up. I'll run back over and get it loaded up, and we'll put that one in the books and call it done. Thanks for staying with me this far, and going to get him unloaded and go up and grab a bite to eat and call it a day. Thanks, YouTube.